Okay, now.
Okay, so I'll start again. So thank you for having me. And I'm a clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, and eating disorder specialist. And my question is, what happens if eating problems, ones that we've mentioned so far, and disordered eating goes untreated? Really and truly, it could go either or way, with either being a minority and or being a majority. What I mean by this is that there are situations where individuals, without necessarily going for therapy, manage to overcome their eating problem. And normally this would happen because they would encounter some meaningful life situation or a stage in life, something which gives them a different kind of meaning, and it helps them to shift from the eating disorder mindset to this other life situation. This could be cases I've seen, people who stopped coming for therapy and then they resolved the issue. It's because there was the birth of a child or the start of a happy relationship, and always with where a lot of love, as Rachel explained, is involved. So they feel held, and somehow there's a shift in focus. As I said, this would be the minority, even research shows this. The majority, unfortunately, would keep battling with eating issues, and they're normally referred to as the eating disorder mindset. And this could last not just for years, but decades. And we've had people coming and they say, I've been 30 years doing this, and finally I took up the courage and I come for help. So what would happen is that they can either stay in their original eating problem. So let's imagine that they are caught in a vicious cycle of the binge purge, which is very common. And they would go in and out of it depending on what they're going through in their lives. So when there is a major life stressor, normally it worsens, and then they could calm down. And very often they would either try the different trends of dieting that would be present. So whether it's raw food at this time, or going vegan, or going vegetarian, they try to resolve their issue through what is happening around them, but they're never tackling the cause. Some others progress. So from somebody with restrictive anorexia nervosa, for instance, they could shift towards binge eating disorder. So then they have a double issue because they put on weight and they cannot cope with that. People know them one way and now they've become another. So they're caught in another kind of mindset, and they come up with extra dieting rules. Then there are those who keep shuttling from one to another, and they change their compensation method. So sometimes they use the purging, sometimes they're using the exercise, sometimes they're using the fasting, but they're never free. So they're never free to live their life completely. And this interferes with being happy in life. Comorbidities are very common. So these people often then tend to develop anxiety, other physical conditions, and depression. Worse than this is we know that eating disorders have among the highest mortality rate among psychiatric cases. So we know of cases where people lose their lives, and this happens either through suicide or through cardiac arrest. And this happens when there is malnutrition or an imbalance in electrolytes, or through over-exercising, but we know that this is a reality, it's a fact. I would like to end up by saying that if anyone has these signs or these symptoms, to reach out, to reach out to a professional who is trained in working in these disorders, because there is cure, there is hope, and people do recover with a lot of hard work and, with a lot of patience and a lot of support, but cure is possible. Thank you. So then I'll take questions later.